The opponent instantly pivots into Gligar, and here comes Kyogre. Gligar has been an absolute menace in the Great League, but it's now nothing more than a tasty little snack. Kyogre going to be able to shield once, Waterfall Farm all the way down. Trevenant might resist this moveset, but these moves certainly are not going to look resisted. The Waterfalls are chunking, and this Surf is going to get him below half health. Welcome back to the channel. I took the weekend off as I was feeling very burnt out, but we're back at it today, feeling refreshed, re-energized with an incredible battle submission from Tdubz' Cracked. Tdubz has a flyer double water strategy, leading the bravest bird of them all, Shadow Pidgeot, with double waters in the back. Of course, electric, going to be a huge headache for this team. However, it's a very high risk, high reward team. Tdubz is wanting to smash through battles, and this is 3 sets in less than 15 minutes. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Tdubz leads Shadow Pidgeot into Victory Bell. What a lead. The opponent says no thank you, save switch into Incineroar and Trainer. We also have a hard counter for that. Just look at this waterfall damage. Speaking of damage, these snarls are chunking us, so Tdubz wisely shields up the blast burn with NC Tdubz stop attacking, allowing his Kyogre to get even lower, allowing less farm. Back out comes Victory Bell. Victory Bell is going to resist this Thunder, but Victory Bell not known for its bulk. Thunder rocks Vic below half health. We send back out Pidgeot. Pidgeot going to be able to wing attack farm all the way down. The opponent is going to fire off the Acid Spray, which does absolutely nothing. The opponent's final Pokemon is Gliscopod, and this is already looking like game over. Tdubz fires off the Aerial Ace, forcing a Protect Shield. Pidgeot able to outpace the Aerial Ace. Number 2. The opponent lightly invests their final Protect Shield. We then see the pivot into Empoleon and Trainer just top left. As Tdubz reaches the Drill Peck, the opponent finally does concede the match, and we're off to a very quick 1-0 start in the next battle. The grass leads continue with the fire type save switches. It's the same as before. Tdubz answers with Kyogre. Kyogre going to very easily go for the one shield, Waterfall Farm all the way down, and this might be the quickest shoutcast I have ever done. Back out comes Whimsicott, and we see Tdubz very nicely force the opponent into what Niantic are now calling a charge attack priority. However, we're still going to call it a CMP tie. Tdubz happy to let Kyogre down. Seed Bomb, of course, does secure the knockout. We send back out Pidgeot. Tdubz once again farms up. This time plays to the CMP tie. He does not win, but Pidgeot will survive any one move. The opponent YOLO the Moonblast. Pidgeot withstands the damage. We see Tdubz now going for the undercharge. However, no undercharge will be saving this Whimsicott. It easily secures the knockout, and we see the Simul swap into the Penguin. Now Empoleon is using Steel Wing. This isn't the best matchup, especially in the 2s, but the opponent only has 1 Protect Shield, 2 High Beam with Shield at the Flame Charge, throw 2 Steel Wings and the Hydro Cannon for optimal fast move timing. You know the drill. The first Hydro Cannon will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the second one is going to be all she wrote with another very quick dub. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, the good leads continue with Pidgeot into Hakamoto. The opponent save switches into Licky. Sort of thicky, I guess. Lickitung's Licky too thicky. This one isn't as bulky, but it's still pretty bulky. We land the Aerial Ace and then see the pivot into Empoleon. Empoleon does need to be mindful this thing can have access to Earthquake. We see Tdubz respect it. The opponent actually YOLO the Shadow Ball. Despite that not being super effective damage, it still did a lot. Tdubz gets a massive Steel Wing farm down. Back out comes Hakamoto. Hakamoto not going to appreciate these Drill Pecks. The first Drill Peck forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Tdubz throwing a very disciplined time in. 1 Steel Wing and the next Drill Peck. Drill Peck number 2 forces the opponent's final Protect Shield, and the opponent is going to need to throw or be hit with 1 further move. Tdubz happy with Empoleon's contribution. Dragon Claw does secure the knockout. We've now got shield advantage. We send back out Pidgeot. The opponent pivots into their own Empoleon, and here comes Kyogre. Shadow Waterfalls from Kyogre are just ridiculous. Empoleon's supposed to resist water, as water does resist itself. Tdubz gets some lag, looks to fire off the Surf, and oh shit, is Niantic gonna screw us out this game? Is lag gonna cost us this battle? It's now all down to Pidgeot to clean up. Back out comes Pidgeot. Is Aerial Ace gonna be enough to knock out? Yes it is. Who's worried by a little bit of lag? Clearly not Tdubz. He's able to pull off the dub despite being screwed. For those of you that are wondering, Kyogre has a 135 attack, Empoleon has a 125. That was never a charge attack the opponent should have ever won. In the next battle, the silly electric fish, you ask, how do we beat this? We don't. We instantly top left and move swiftly on. In the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Wigglytuff. I'm normally always trash talking people that use tap nonsense charmers. However, this cop is very nonsense, so feel free to use any toxic team you like. We build up to the Brave Bird bait with the Aerial Ace and see the pivot into Kyogre. Once again, just look at this waterfall damage. It is ridiculous. To be fair, for absolute clarity, our Shadow Waterfalls are very much functioning just like Toxic Charm, doing absurd damage to everything. The opponent sends out the Flying Banana Tree. I know Tropius is insanely thick. I've used it in Sylph, and despite Kyogre having a monstrous attack stat, that Thunder doesn't do too much damage. Tdubz sends back out Pidgeot, once again getting denied. My god, is this game in a shambolic state. Again though, Tdubz undeterred, reaches the Aerial Ace, and Aerial Ace will be secure in the knockout. The opponent actually chooses to invest that final Protect Shield. It's now all down to the Penguin to clean up. Leaf Blade will only hit for neutral. We see Tdubz looking to save his final Protect Shield, and I've got no idea why the opponent threw an Aerial Ace. Perhaps it's single moved. If they're like me, from somewhere like the UK, Tropius Candy is insanely hard to get hold of. However, we got distracted. The opponent sends out Wallface, make a very nice catch onto Wigglytuff, or so though I'd think. Tdubz needed to get rid of it anyway, and back out comes Wallface. Tdubz fires off the first Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon lands on Shadow Bastion for absurd damage, and speaking of resisted moves, Tdubz going for that bad manners Drill Peck. Drill Peck doesn't knock out. We manage to Steel Wing farm down and take that game. In the next battle, LedsenKatt, beautiful. Even better, a Gligar save switch. Gligar usually pretty safe into things that aren't ice types. However, Shadow Kyogre can be added to that list of things that Gligar needs to avoid. This one evidently has better IVs than the last. They're able to reach double Aerial Ace. Kyogre might be glassy, we're able to withstand the damage and get the full waterfall farm down. Taking the second Aerial Ace might actually be better for us as we leave minimal farm. Back out comes LedsenKatt. We fire off the Thunder. Thunder lands for big damage. I'm not sure if the opponents stop tapping or they're lagging, but either way, that might cost them as we're able to reach the next Surf. Surf goes unshielded. Kyogre claims another victim. The opponent putting all the hopes and dreams on a 2-shield Crocodile. However, I don't think it's going to be able to 2v1 this team. We see Tdubz not shield up the disarming voice. We're going to throw 2 wing attacks and the Aerial Ace, and the opponent is going to be forced to start shielding. If we get both shields with Pidgeot, Hydro Cannon will be enough to pick up the dub. We actually bank the Aerial Ace, then see the pivot into the Penguin. The Penguin able to win the charge attack prior event. Hydro Cannon will be forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. We see Tdubz make a very heads up play, looking to save a Protect Shield for next season, and rightfully so, as we've already seen this game is in a shambolic state, so any shield you might save might help you in future battles. GG's, and thanks for playing. On a more serious note, I saw Callum on Toast talking about things that had improved Go Battle League. I personally think if you manage to shield flex on your opponent, you should be able to bank that shield for the remainder of the set, and I think that would be quite funny. In the next battle, we see another electric type in the lead. It looks like this one, Tdubz, isn't just completely top left in. He's looking to play it out. We force a Protect Shield, send out Kyogre. The opponent full send the Discharge, which is advantageous for us. It doesn't lower our attack. However, being met by a superior isn't fantastic. Tdubz has managed to RPS his way to numerous quick victories, but it looks like he might be falling victim, tasting his own medicine. We send back out Pidgeot, but Pidgeot's got hardly any HP. We're going to need to 2-shield the Penguin and hope the Penguin can put in so much work. Tdubz does put all his hopes and dreams on the back of the Penguin. However, the opponent still has a Protect Shield to hide behind. We go straight for the Drill Peck. Drill Peck will be secure in the knockout, but these Volt Switches are going to tear us apart. Back out comes the Spider. You can put your life savings on this being a lunge, but we're kind of forced to shield regardless. We do shield up the lunge. The opponent pivot into their own Penguin, and we are finally going to concede, as unfortunately there is no win in that battle. In the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Skeledirge. 2 better responses in the back, but this isn't a bad matchup either. We full send the Brave Bird. Does the opponent respect the damage? Get that Skeledirge out of here. Pidgeot gets in on the big boom action. The opponent sends out Mantine, and we see the instant pivot into Kyogre, looking to reset our debuff. Tdubz shields up the Aerial Ace. Are we going to full send the Thunder? Unfortunately, not before we're met with one more Aerial Ace. Kyogre should survive this as Mantine has a pretty non-existent attack stat. Tdubz commits to the Thunder, unfortunately doesn't reach it, and that is so rough. Empoleon does resist everything in Mantine's arsenal. However, we haven't got too much bulk. You can see the wing attack and the resisted water pulse have already got us below half health. Tdubz farms up, fires off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon forces the opponent's first Protect Shield. Tdubz again gets some lag, as that is not a CMP tie we should be losing. My god, this game is so bad right now. I haven't played since Go Battle Weekend, and I'll be honest, until this game improves, I have no intention of doing anything other than shoutcasting and some trash talking. Unfortunately, it looks like this game is just over, but Tdubz is going to play it out. Even if we manage to force the opponent's final Protect Shield, this Aerial Ace, take him out with a Hydro Cannon, Mantine is still alive, and our Penguin is just going to get Wing Attack farmed down. We get a bit more weak connection, because why not? When a battle's going absolutely dreadfully, why not throw a few more glitches in? Aerial Ace takes us out, and we're going to get Wing Attack farmed down and take a heartbreaking loss. In the next battle, we see Vic in the lead. Beautiful lead, however, the silly electric fish on the save switch. Tdubz says, I ain't wasting any time, I am out of here, and he instantly concedes the match. Oof, the electric leads continue. However, last time we did see we made a Galv match pretty close, and we are full sending a Brave Bird. There is no shot this lands, no shot. Of course, the pesky Spider does invest that Protect Shield. However, as we threw the Brave Bird, we have lowered our defense, meaning the opponent gets less farm. We now send out Kyogre, the opponent baits us with a lunge, and they're already doubled up. Tdubz showing great fighting spirit. Calls the lunge. Okay, we have one more waterfall. That is definitely Steel Wing farm down range. Can the Penguin pull off the impossible? The Penguin gets a very nice Steel Wing farm. Out comes Aurora's. And this is why you should not top left, as the opponent must be so weak in the back. If I have the double resisted weather ball, we easily withstand the damage. The Penguin would have got the Steel Wing farm down, so the opponent concedes the match. Very, very nice dub. Heading into the next battle, we see the battle of the Flyers. Pidgeot will reach the Brave Bird at exactly the same time the opponent reaches the Ice Beam. We throw the Brave Bird on the CMP. Does the opponent respect the damage? Oof! They did not. Holy moly, Mantine might think it's thick, but they near get one-shot Tdubz. Shields up the Aerial Ace bait, then pivots into the Penguin, getting the Steel Wing snipe. The opponent then enters the mirror behind on energy, which must mean they don't have a great response. Hydro Cannon is the correct move to throw here. Both moves are resisted, but Hydro Cannon gets same type attack bonus, it just does better DPE. It's interesting that the opponent's even shielding their Penguin, so hopefully they're weak to water in the back. However, evidently they're not, as they've got a Dragon. Hydro Cannon still does some solid chip damage. We get off as much Steel Wing damage as we physically can, and then send back out Pidgeot. Pidgeot is going to be able to survive one Aqua Tail, and then it's going to be down to Kyogre to try and waterfall down Empoleon. Pidgeot reaches the Aerial Ace. I doubt the opponent shields this, as we're just free farm. Aerial Ace does secure the knockout. We see Tdubz spamming the switch. Can we survive a Drill Peck and waterfall farm down? Oof, we're very glassy. Come on, Kyogre. In Kyogre, I believe. Moment of truth. Can we survive a Drill Peck? Fuck. We cannot, and unfortunately, we're going to take the loss. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle again, we see the Battle of the Flyers. Can Tdubz sneak another Brave Bird through 2 Protect Shields? We see Tdubz farm up, and this time we actually see him bank the move and pivot into the Penguin, where we do resist all moves. Again, the opponent throws the Aerial Ace bait and then send out Annihilate. We see the opponent go for a very risky play of farming up front on the CMP. Usually, that is a CMP time Empoleon does win. The opponent must be running an insanely high attack 8. I still think that's risky because of course they don't know whether we're running an attack weighted Penguin. But regardless, the opponent's risky play did pay off. We sent back out Pidgeot, fired off the Aerial Ace, securing the knockout. Back out comes Mantine. We land the Aerial Ace bait on the CMP tie, and it looks like we're finally going to start shielding. We shield up the next Aerial Ace. The opponent still 1 Protect Shield, 2 high behind. Again, we farm up, maximise our energy, throw the Brave Bird on the CMP tie. Brave Bird goes unshielded, get that Mantine out of here. The opponent's final Pokemon is Gligar, and you already know that's going to be game, set, and match. Tdubz shows no respect to the Aerial Ace, commits to the waterfall farm down, and Tdubz picks up the dub. Heading into the next battle, another Battle of Flyers. However, Altaria is one we're probably going to have to stay in, as Kyogre doesn't want to see it. However, Tdubz sticking with the same strategy, full sending the Brave Bird. Brave Bird lands again. Holy! Tdubz then resets his debuff, sending out Kyogre where the waterfalls are resisted, and we're going to get more farm. The opponent answers our Kyogre save switch with Mandibuzz. Again, we farm up, throw on the CMPs. Our Mandibuzz insanely thick. Finally, you can see Surf look like a good move when it comes from a Kyogre. If that was a Lantern, it probably would have done like 15-20%. The opponent threw the Dark Pulse, then got the Snarl farm down. So when you see ABA Flyers, I'm already worried the opponent might have something like an Annihilate in the back, because Flyers will struggle into Steel types and Ice types, so a fighter makes sense, and that is something our Penguin doesn't want to see. Tdubz sends out Pidgeot, banks an Aerial Ace, we then to the pivot into the Penguin. Tdubz is down to Protect Shield, so we can't shield the Dark Pulse. The opponent then sends out Skeledirge. We look to double up on charge moves, get Incinerate farm down, and unfortunately, we are going to take a brutal loss. GG's to that opponent. Heading into their next battle, the Dream Lead. Trevenant going to be instantly retreating. The opponent sends out Gligar, and again it looks like we're on the right side of the RPS. The opponent throws an alignment, and that is not what you want to do when you're in a piss poor matchup. Kyogre easily going to be able to shield once, Waterfall Farm all the way down. Trevenant might resist these moves, but Trevenant isn't particularly bulky. Tdubz throws 3 Waterfalls and the Surf for optimal fast move timing, and we're now doubled up. The first Surf gets the opponent below half health, and the second one's either going to knock out or force a Protect Shield. The opponent completely sacked the tree. Kyogre claims 2 victims. The opponent looking to 2-shield Mantine to victory. However, Mantine just isn't going to have enough in the tank. You see the instant no-shield deployed from Tdubz. The opponent full send the Ice Beam. We resend the damage and then send out the Penguin. The opponent sees Empoleon and say fuck it, take the victory and concede the match. In the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Wiggles. A pretty neutral matchup, however, we are not going to appreciate this Shadow Charm. You can see Pidgeot getting torn apart, but Tdubz undeterred, overfarms, full sends the Brave Bird, which of course goes shielded. I wasn't even excited as Charmers always shield. We see Tdubz reset his debuff, pivoting into Kyogre. The opponent unfortunately bait with the Icy Wind and then send out the basic Bitch Tin Can. Tdubz fires off the Thunder and what looks like to be a CMP tie. Thunder, despite being debuffed, gets the opponent below half health, and once again a very nice CMP tie from Tdubz. Focus Blast does secure the knockout. We're in the 1-to-1 shield. Tdubz can send out the Penguin, overfarm by 1 and fire off the Hydro Cannon just before the Focus Blast. Tdubz never disappoints, always maximising his energy. Hydro Cannon, to my surprise, does force the shield, and then we see a savage catching the Focus Blast back onto Pidgeot. This might be Steel Wing farm down range. I think the safe play is to throw 7, then the move. The opponent doesn't quite bank a charge move and then send out Mantine. It's now the Penguin versus the Wild. Empoleon fires off the Drill Peck. It looks like 2 Drill Pecks won't be lethal, and we've got to save the shield for a potential Focus Blast or Zap Cannon. The opponent fires off the Aerial Ace. Tdubz looks to fire off the Drill Peck on the CMP tie. We really need this to knock out, or if it doesn't quite get the job done, Tdubz now forced to shield. Tdubz does shield up the Aerial Ace. We do leave with a charge move. We know Wigglytuff isn't reaching a move, and we know Reggie's alive. Let's see what the opponent does. The opponent waits out the clock, send out Registeel. They bank a charge move, then send out Wigglytuff. However, we're now doubled up. So the first Hydro Cannon knocks out the Marshmallow, and the second Hydro Cannon is going to knock out the Tin Can. What a well-played endgame. GG's, and thanks for playing. Huge shout out to Tdubz for an incredible battle submission. Of course, this isn't a team for climbing. You can see Tdubz is already legend and looking to have fun. He displayed very high gameplay IQ throughout, so I appreciate the very entertaining battle submission. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button if you're new, consider subscribing if you like your battles featured on my channel. A link to the battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.